Hi, welcome back. It's Alexander Sebastian, and it's our 18th episode of Parents as Partners. And today we're going to talk about how you can help your child change his attitude towards life and get rid of those embarrassing moments and feeling of inadequacy. You remember when you were back in school and the teacher would hand you your exam back, and even though you had worked your best on it, your grade wasn't so high, and the other kids would see it and you'd feel diminished and embarrassed? Or when you're out in that playing field and you missed the ball that was coming towards you and everybody else was looking at you and you felt really bad even though you tried your best? Life is full of moments like this, and we let the other people outside of us make us feel bad about ourselves. And this is what we're going to talk about today: how to become your master of your own game. So this is developing the game master's attitude about life. This takes us into the mindset of the game master. The game master is two personalities in one person. He's the manager of the player, and he's the player. The game master, as the manager, has the responsibility of choosing which games they want to commit to. So the game master can choose ballet or football to excel in any other activity. They can choose to be in the cool crowd or the nerds. It's up to them. The game master coach realizes that they are the ones who are going to make the choices in their lives, and they're going to choose the social circles they circulate in and the competition events that they're going to be in, whether it's in a subject in school, sports, the arts, whatever it will be. The game master coach realizes that the number one responsibility is to the player themselves. So if the coach chooses a sport or an activity for the player and realizes afterwards that that is not the right activity, then the coach, the mentality of the coach of the game master, allows the player to pull himself out. Of course, you have to take into consideration the impact that this will have on the other players, because you always have obligation to your team members. But your first obligation is to yourself. So if something is not your cup of tea, then the mindset of the coach says to the player, you can get out of here and go into something that will be more beneficial for you without guilt, because your number one responsibility is to yourself. As the player's coach, the coach is responsible for the well-being of the player. So the coach mentality makes sure the player gets enough sleep, eats properly, is circulating in the right environment, so that they can use their efforts in the most efficient way to win at the games that they're going to choose to play. So the player needs to listen to the coach. Even before his teachers or a coach in a team, the player needs to listen to his coach, because the coach is the one who definitely has the interest of the player at heart, and not the name of the school or some other reason, or because they need more people in a club at school. The player needs to respect the coach side of himself and believe that the coach is really looking out for his own benefit. The coach side of the person sets the goals, and these goals should be quantifiable, achievable within a fixed period of time, and incremental, so that the player knows, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be heading, and this is what I'm supposed to do to achieve that, and I should be able to do it by a fixed time. And of course, this dichotomy within the person, your student or your child, can negotiate with the coach and say, okay, I've been trying my best. This goal was unreachable, unrealistic at this point, and so let's reassess this and choose new goals. The purpose of all of this is to take away from the false importance of putting a ball through a net or into a net, or achieving something that is in itself has no intrinsic value, while as the goals set by the coach should be values that take him on to making a habit of doing first of all, choosing his own goals in life, and then doing his best to achieve them. This goal setting and achieving builds characters. It makes the individual responsible for himself rather than listening and taking on what a coach or a teacher says and this is what I must do. It becomes the student himself, the person himself, who decides, yeah, this is something I need to do, and this is something that I want to do, and this is something I'm going to commit my effort to. So it shifts the responsibility from being obedient to a superior and achieving the goal because the superior tells me to, and it shifts that to saying, yes, I accept these goals, and I'm going to do my best to achieve them. So we can see that the coach has a oversight role on the player. Now let's look at the player, what he does or she does. The player's role is to, once he accepts the goal of the coach, to do his or her best to achieve those goals. Now when we say do the best, I think it's unrealistic and unfair to say everyone has to do their best all the time. We should do the best at those goals that we choose to, and we can accept that we don't do the best in everything. But in those goals that we think are important, we want to, we're going to say we're going to do the best in that, and this builds a habit, an achievable habit of excelling in those things that we choose to excel. Most people today, they don't choose to do their best in many things. They say, okay, I'll give it a go, or I'll give it a shot, or I'll do okay in this. But there's very few things we say, yes, I'm committed to this, I'm going to do my best. And that's part of the game master mindset, saying that, yes, I can commit my best to something. Now, if I fail, that's okay. What's important is that you have done your best. And when we're beaten, we should, or even when we win, we should thank our opponent for their effort and for having pushed us to do our best. And hopefully we've learned something from that encounter. And this is the character building aspect of it. When you're beaten by not doing your best, that's okay, that's acceptable. Even when you're beaten, when you do your best. Now this may sound selfish and egocentric to some people, thinking only about yourself. The game master doesn't only think about himself, he thinks about his teammates and those around him. And by being the best he can contribute to his teammates. What it does end is looking to others for approval of our behavior. And we become the center of the measure of our achievement. Instilling the attitude of a game master in your children will lead to lifelong achievements and personal happiness and success, a feeling of freedom that they only have to look to themselves for their direction in life, and they are the ones who should pat themselves on the back when they make their achievements, and they don't have to expect or wait or hope for someone else, because they know that they put the effort in and they chose the goal and they achieved it. You know, life as we grow up, we change our goals, we evolve hopefully, and our canvas of who we are is painted over several times as we change our palette of color and our subject matter and our style, and that's good. And I think that the people who adopt the game master's attitude have no problem shedding the skins of their old selves as they're always moving into their next new best. So as they do this, I think they feel happy and proud about themselves, and I think as parents, you too, you will be proud of your child as he or she becomes their own game master. Okay, thank you. Well, I hope you got something out of this. I think it's a very challenging topic. And this is Alexander Sebastian with Parents as Partners, and signing off, and hope you come back and subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.